to turn around. And now it seems the walls are crashing down.
Welcome to the Fresh Squeeze Podcast.
Welcome to the Fresh Squeeze Podcast. I discovered I have a superpower. I can attract police cars just by pulling my penis out in traffic. Also, I am the milkman. My milk is delicious. With me today is Jason. He is a good dude. I don't care what you say, David. Anyway, let's begin, shall we, Jason?
I think we should begin, but do you know what? I don't think that I shared my screen with you. So how the heck are we going to begin? Because we got to begin with the video. Let me know when you got this pulled up. Hey, White Tiger, how's it going?
Hi, White.
Are you ready to roll? I'm sharing in Discord.
I'm watching
Hi,
it.
Kenzie. Okay, you're watching
Hello, everybody. I am.
All right, let's switch on over here.
I don't like the look of this already.
It's a short but funny one here.
All right.
He had the reverb turned up and everything.
That's pretty good, actually. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Hopefully, we set the pace well for this episode. We decided that we were going to go gather together me every morning. Oh man. But we wanted to do some gaming news because we had like our State of Gaming episode, and I was looking, and I think that there's considerably more views on that particular episode than others. So I wanted to just kind of like delve into it, talk about some current events happening in the gaming world. What do you think?
I like the cut of your jib.
As I do yours, sir. So what do you got first for us?
Well, what I got first is, I have to get back to the beginning of the document because I'm a fucking idiot and stayed at the bottom of it. Okay, so chat, specifically Kenzie, Man Who Sees Dead People, White Tiger, how many of you have heard of Starfield? Just by quick note.
Some. A few.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. Hi, Knox. How you doing?
Sweet baby Jesus.
So, Starfield is, as Todd Howard so beautifully put it, Skyrim in space. And it is by Bethesda. And by golly, it looks beautiful. Just saying. State-of-the-art graphics, but that's just the trailer. So, we have a trailer here that was posted back in July of last year, 2021. Not really up to date, but it gives you a decent idea of what to expect. Now, anyone who watched our first episode knows that I'm a huge fan of the Elder Scrolls series. Anyone who likes the Elder Scrolls series knows that the Elder Scrolls 6 will be released within the next 8 decades or so, but not before Starfield. What is Starfield, you ask? This.
Yeah, let's go over and check this out real quick. Got a trailer.
Also joining us tonight,
Constellation Starship Frontier. We have you on scanners. Performing remote systems check. Helium-3 tanks checked.
25 years in the making.
We are still go.
They say the wonder is not that the field of stars is so vast, but that we
Look at
have
the
measured it.
contours on that sandwich.
You're part of Constellation now. Part of our family. What you've found, it's the key to unlocking everything.
We reach your constellation.
This is all we've been working towards.
Jemison route looks good.
We've come to the beginning of humanity's final journey.
Prepare for departure. Graviton loop array spool check. Your space lane is clear.
That's why we're here.
Main engines go. Ignition.
To discover what's out there.
Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
Oh, black screen. Oh, Starfield.
Yeah.
Hooray!
On Skyrim's 11th birthday.
On Skyrim's 11th. So I saw that White Tiger mentioned, I have zero faith in Bethesda to put out a good working game nowadays. You know, I share the same skepticism, but we need to take note that Bethesda is owned by Microsoft now, and things might be shaken up. Because I remember we didn't have this planned as like a talking subject, but while we're on the subject, I figured I'd bring it up, that they are being told that essentially all of the old Fallouts are going to get remasters with updated, graphics and that's pushed straight down from, Microsoft. There's they're essentially supposed to come out with a new of their main IPs as well within I think a 6-year period or something like that. So I think that there are some changes happening, but I'm just really hoping they don't milk it as bad as they have on some of these games.
I mean, that's true. However, that trailer and its implications had me jizzing a hole in my underwear.
Murasake, thank you. This is Baron. He's a big old potato. What do we got here? Yeah, I do think that Microsoft only wants money, but I do think that they are at least willing to, they're willing to call the BS. If a studio isn't performing, they're just going to, start making the decisions to get them the heck out of there.
Pet all the animals. Absolutely pet all the animals. That's just the way to do things. Now,
Yeah.
let's say we discuss a little bit on the recent talks of Starfield.
Okay.
Like I said, that trailer is from July of last year, but there is a bit more developed.
Okay.
So, there's a news article here. I know how much you guys love hearing news articles, but either way. Bethesda Game Studios veteran
Oops.
Emil Pigliarula, who has worked at the Fallout and Elder Scrolls studio for 19 years, has shared a little more insight on Starfield in an employee profile on Bethesda's website. The developer said that the sci-fi RPG is going to offer something really special that will make players go wild. They said that about Skyrim, and they fucking delivered. So, bear that in mind. Saying you're going to create the studio's first new IP in 20 years is one thing. Actually pulling it off, that's a different story. It's been so awe-inspiring watching Starfield morph into this amazing game, little by little, and with us covering so much new ground. Now, Starfield is lined up for release this November on Xbox Series X, S, and PC. That's where I'm going to be playing it. Bethesda is confident the game won't be delayed, and Pagliarulo, if I'm saying that name right even remotely, said that Starfield is far enough along into development that the systems have come together and gelled, and the vision that the studio had at the onset of production is now coming to fruition. Also in the interview, Pigliarulo spoke about his many inspirations on what games he enjoys the most, listing up titles like Spider-Man and Cyberpunk 2070. He still ranks as one of my favorite games of all time, but I still play a lot of games from all different genres. My gamer score is something like 168,000. Wow, what a flex. Just say that you've never been laid. It's fine. And that's just the Xbox games.
Well, there you go.
Okay. So there's always something that inspires or excites me. I really love gaming and playing games that just make me shake my head like, wow, I know how they did that, and it is a crazy accomplishment. The newest Spider-Man games have been like that for me. Or Cyberpunk, man. To make a giant open-ended environment like Night City, that is no easy feat. Seriously impressive that it tanked so hard. I added that last bit on for me. Starfield launches on November 11th, 2022 for PC and Xbox Series X and S. Like all of Microsoft's other first-party games, it will launch day one on Xbox Game Pass, what means it might reach more players than any Bethesda game before, despite not coming to PlayStation. Suck it, Sony. You and your
Suck it.
first world IP and exclusives. Fuck you.
Hey, we get to talk about them later.
I know. And I'm looking forward to raising both middle fingers eagerly
There you go.
at their expense.
Well, we need a little bit of a palate cleanser here. Well, actually,
I would say so.
it's not that that's a bad taste, but in order to enjoy the next taste, we kind of have to get something a little different. So we've got a pretty awesome and savage comment here. Let's take a look.
Awesome and savage comment.
Yes.
Year is when I just get to go skiing, and you haven't got to do your hair and makeup, you haven't got to have all that awkwardness. Just put your helmet on, put your snood on, no makeup, it's great. And actually I've brought my skiing stuff with
Let's
me
have a look.
actually, if I just make
See,
myself
because
more comfortable.
I'm pretty sure I would recognise you in skiing gear.
So
Oh, I
I've got,
love Jimmy Carr.
a beard and Viking horns. And this is kind of my look. So much more comfortable, and it's warm. And you just don't have to have that awkward social, like, is that you, is it not, how's Jimmy? That kind of thing.
That's a challenging wank.
Oh man.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think I've
Sorry.
ever seen Jimmy Carr facepalm like that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That is pretty hilarious.
So, what you got next? What you got next?
Just to answer a guy who sees dead people, the issues I was having running Elden Ring were driver updates.
Driver updates.
Now
huh?
it's just lack of want.
Hmm.
There is no gameplay footage of Starfield just yet, I don't believe. And White Tiger, you saying Skyrim is not great is just silly. It's just silly.
Get it out of here.
I'm not saying get it out of here, because all opinions are welcome.
Yeah,
But it's just silly. Okay? Okay.
I respectfully disagree, sir.
Respectfully is a fun word to use. In context, out of context, and everything. Love it all its 2 weapons and 3 armor sets? Absolutely, but that's what the modding community's for.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you only had 4 spells, then you don't have the right mods. That's all I can say. All right, so, White Tiger, not meaning to sound snarky, but you know how I am about my Elder Scrolls. I don't grant studios credit for mods either, except Skyblivion. Just to kind of stick to this Elder Scrolls topic a moment longer. Skyblivion is being made by a studio entirely of volunteers, rebuilding Oblivion from the ground up in the Skyrim engine, and it is gorgeous. They have gameplay trailers, and they have monthly dev blogs featuring all of the updates. So that is one studio-led mod that I will give full credit to, and it is backed by Bethesda. So It is going to be excellent. Well, I'll agree to disagree with you on that.
All right.
Anyway.
So you wanted to talk about Elden Ring next.
Yes, before I go off into any other sort of tangent about the Elder Scrolls, gameplay bit in the background is a YouTube video of Elden Ring, and just look at that effect.
Here,
How
let's just
sexy with that.
let's look at it
mountain
together here. Let's look at that.
Yay! Sight of Lost Grace. I'm be honest, I have not beat a single boss in Elden Ring despite owning it for over a month. And that's not from lack of skill, it's from lack of playing. I've got a total of an hour played on it.
Yeah.
Squawk. Oh, dude, that bird's holding swords.
I'm just saying, it's something that is kind of fun to watch or whatever for me, but I have tried pretty well every Souls-like game, and that are mainstream at least, and I'm just really not into them. They're just not very fun for me.
So mainstream.
I mean, I've killed bosses like in, Dark Souls 3. I played quite a bit of the original Dark Souls when it was new.
And it was on your PlayStation at Thomas L. Cardell and Associates that I played the first ever time I ever touched Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And I still had to wash my hands for 20 minutes to get the PlayStation spank off of it. Anyway.
But yeah, it's all just about anybody in the gaming community is talking about right now. I mean, it's just...
Very true. And I mean, well, just look at the stream right now. Look over to the left. Ain't nobody playing Elden Ring. That was a very awkward time for me to try to make a point. Either way. Elden Ring has been forefront of every gamer's mind for the past, what's it been out for 2 months now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something to that effect. I don't remember exact release date. I'm not that big of a nerd. Either way, with how long it has been out, it's all anybody has talked about, and there have been extreme world record attempts, speed runs, and everything. There was even a speed run I saw, glitches included, of course, because no speed run's going to be legit.
Yeah.
With a 17-minute clear,
right,
start to finish, including character creation. 17 minutes. That is impressive. I don't care what game you're playing.
Yeah, for sure.
And even with glitches. That's still something to shake a stick at.
So one thing that's kind of funny is I watch, occasionally I'll watch the Angry Joe show, and they found this issue with streaming Elden Ring, where there's just like a bunch of haters. It's not enough that the game is already, in many aspects, a challenging game. But like, if you don't play it a specific way, you got like haters, hating on you over in the chat and shit. It's ridiculous. But anyway, the reason I wanted to mention
before you do that, I feel like I have to defend myself here. Ryusaki, you're not being gaslit. I am absolutely a nerd. I'm going to defend that cred till the day I die. I'm simply stating I'm not that much of a nerd to keep my eyes on the past. Because we have nothing but the forward to future to. The future to forward. I need something to eat. Oh, I have a block of mozzarella. All right, so nothing but the future to look forward to.
So there was a couple pretty funny clips or skits that Angry Joe did that I thought was very on point. I mean, they hit it on point, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I dislike Angry Joe for his politics.
His politics.
Yeah. I mean, if you've ever heard of any sort of criticism of Angry Joe, he was a very staunch anti-Trump guy, which I get it. If you don't like Trump, that's cool. But he also had some very unpopular opinions on a lot of topics that weren't even Trump related. So he has had a bit of backlash recently. Not a ton, but enough to make some waves in the YouTube community.
Oh, okay.
But I always find him at least watchably funny.
For sure. For sure.
Watchably funny. That could be the name of my porno.
Let's give this a look here.
Let's do that.
Cliff and tie on. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, Joe, what's up, man? It's a beautiful day out, right?
Yeah, it is.
What'd you do this weekend?
I actually did a mud run.
Oh, what's a mud run?
I was running through the mud for miles, doing obstacles and all that fun stuff.
Oh, I know what you mean. You put on a weight belt, you get a backpack, you get a bunch of gear, you put rocks in the backpack, then you put like shoulder straps on and weights, you know, the little ones you put around your thing, and you go real hard!
No,
Yeah.
no, why would I do that?
You didn't do that?
No.
You're trash, Joe! What, you don't know how to run? You don't know how to do the marathon correctly? What is wrong with you? You're embarrassing me and this whole show. Do it right next time.
But I finished it, I got the medal and everything. What the fuck is his problem?
Cliff and tie on. No, I'm just playing.
Get good, scrub.
Linda, this is another one right here that I thought was pretty funny.
I've always been a fan of I'm not one of those Dark Souls people because I don't like anyone who's like defines themselves as like a Dark Souls person. I don't like you.
Yeah,
you know,
me either.
you know the people that are like, oh, you didn't beat the game naked with a ham sandwich. You're a noob. Get good.
Oh, hey, Karen, how are you?
Susan, it's wonderful to see you. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I just had a baby.
Oh, that's a blessing. You have an at-home natural birth.
Well, no, there's some complications. I had a C-section.
Oh, that's disgusting. You're trash, all right? You had a surgery, right? It was surgically removed from your body. You didn't give birth. There was no pain. Awful. Awful.
Who the fuck are you to tell me how to have my baby? Have you had one?
Well, no, but you know, if I did, I would do it the right way. The most amount of pain possible. The manliest way. The right way.
You know what, Karen? Shut the fuck up. Nobody fucking likes you. All right? Bye, Karen.
Get good.
Get good.
I've always been a fan of...
I mean, get good is the 6 most puke-inducing letters you can ever throw at anybody. Just saying. It's annoying as shit when people say it. I mean, like, hey, have you found this or that? Mind giving a brother a tip? Get good! Fuck yourself. If get good is all you can say to that, then you are a programmed personage. You are a product of the system. Go throw yourself into a pit of piranhas. But before you do that, find a pit of piranhas. Then things are rare.
We're making all kinds of friends today.
I would say so.
All right. Do we have any other final comments about Elden Ring?
Well, yeah, there's a couple. Well, one thing that kind of stuck out in my mind when I had heard the original release about it, when there was nothing but a teaser, which involved Melanithia of Morphledorf putting her arm on, you know, the click. Melanithia of Morphledorf is not a real person. I intentionally got her name wrong because I couldn't be asked to look it up. Either way.
Okay.
Something that's kind of been gnawing at my brain a little bit. This does not smell like George R.R. Martin all that much, which I would imagine smells like mothballs and butter. But at the same time, he was touted as being a very major role in the storytelling and a lot of the world building, which some of that I do kind of see. But do you think he might have been announced as being attached to the project for publicity?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird that all happened, that he was even mentioned to be a part of it. I mean, at most, he was probably just a consultant, if anything. I don't think he actually wrote anything. He was probably just a consultant.
Very possible. However, one of my friends I brought that up to brought to my attention that he may very well have about as much creative throw in it as one of those inspired by movies that has nothing to do with the original.
Yeah.
And I've got my little Lily here because she's a little baby.
Oh, little kidders.
Mm-hmm. She's almost 2 years old. And, White Tiger, I'm going to have to correct you on that because this is on my note to be absolutely true. He had basically nothing to do with Season 8. He was basically consulted after it was written. Don't worry. Don't worry, Tiger. Don't worry. She's actually not all that tiny. She's small. Whoa, but she can climb.
God. Little gators.
She's about 2. But either way, George R.R. Martin does love fingers. I mean, he gets a sponge bath every day because, you know, he's about 1,000 pounds and age-wise. But also, I just feel like he wasn't nearly as involved as he may have been touted. He might have been put on the roster basically because, hey, this popular guy did a popular thing.
Hey.
Everybody liked what this guy did, but not so much. I mean, still, yeah, White Tiger, I'm with you. His books are middling at best when it comes to fantasy. If you want a good fantasy writer, Tolkien all the way, 100%, there is no doubt. But I've recently found some love for the Chronicles of Narnia, classic as it may be. Hadn't read them since I was about a child, maybe 9, 10 years old.
But you
And
aren't.
it was a lot of words, I will give you that.
You aren't into L. Ron Hubbard.
We do not speak that name here, Jason.
What? Why
we
not?
do not speak that name.
Why not?
Because we do not speak the name of the deceiver.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Chill out, man. Chill out.
I can't chill out, man.
Your ears
You're
are
going
burning.
to bring unholy hell on us.
Oh, I think we're just going to get taken advantage of for some tax breaks, but
Probably. Just wait in the next episode of the Fresh
That's
Squeeze
just the
podcast. It'll be filmed live from a courthouse where we're being sued by a bunch of yuppies from California that are getting way uncomfortably close. Have you seen any of Leah Remini's videos recently? Like Leah Remini, the actress who is famous for quitting Scientology.
No, I haven't.
She is an advocate for people who are being deprogrammed from the Scientology spectrum here, and it is a cult. They will harass and they will stalk people that leave their church, but they do it all in a legal way, causing no harm physically, and only backing down when the police get involved. It is extremely creepy.
This is a cat.
That is a cat.
All right. Well, what do we want to talk about next?
Next up. Well, one other note to make about Elden Ring before we move on.
Okay.
Do you think it could be Game of the Year?
I think from what I've seen, it could be, but like I said, I have not played it. From the reviews that's coming out of it, and also the, just the amount people are talking about it.
That is correct. Guy who sees dead people. Leah Remini is the lady from King of Queens.
But yeah, I think that it's most likely going to get Game of the Year. I don't foresee something else coming out this year that's going to be better than the quality of that game, probably.
I did a decent amount of research on the topic of Game of the Year before pregame here, and it looks like nothing will even come close to Game of the Year, except maybe Starfield.
Yeah.
When Bethesda puts out big IP like that, big IP, but when they put out IP like that, it tends to kind of take the world by storm, and if it is as huge as Skyrim was on launch, Elden Ring will be forgotten. Just saying.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We will indeed. Assuming the Scientologists don't take over the world.
Obviously.
Right. Now, let's move on before we fall even further into this rabbit hole that leads to Wonderland, or Underland as it is actually called in the original novels. The Witcher Part 4. This one took me quite a bit by surprise when I heard about it originally. The Witcher has very much been near and dear to my heart ever since I read the books when I was about 17, 18. However, I never played the games until somewhat recently. I had no faith that they would be good games, and boy, was I wrong. There's titties in those games.
Of course. Big old,
and multitudes of them.
Big old boobies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Now, there has been a skosh of controversy surrounding The Witcher Part 4 for a couple of reasons. Now, here's the thing. There is very, very little out about it yet. Just about nothing. Because it is still very much on the beta table, as it were. And
Yeah.
hell, it's not even on beta. It's not even in alpha yet. It's basically just been announced and had a couple of graphics released of what Geralt's going to look like and what the teaser poster looks like.
Yeah.
The teaser poster is a Witcher medallion buried in snow, looking nothing like any Witcher medallion that I have ever seen or anybody has, and there has been much speculation as to what kind of Witcher school it will be, and it is confirmed to be the School of the Lynx, a previously unknown one. Now that's where a lot of speculation comes into play here. Ciri would oftentimes wear a cat school medallion, which Wolf School is Geralt's school. He is basically a father figure to her, despite the fact that they bang in The Witcher 3. That is canon 100%. Don't believe me, I'll explain later. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to what anything could be about it. After the word Lynx was dropped, people started going nuts about it. On the far corners of the internet, mind you, and nuts is a relative term. But the controversy I had mentioned is stemmed around the fact that the main character may not be Geralt of Rivia.
That'd be interesting.
Well, that is where some of the controversy cropped up, in that people are worried that they are already too focused on being woke, because they said, oh, I guarantee you it's going to be a black main character because reasons. I disagree. I don't feel like that would necessarily even be a bad thing. But there has been nothing concrete released whatsoever, and people are jumping the gun on that sort of talk, which I feel is incredibly racist. Riggedy racist. And at the same time, it could end up being an MMO. That's another thing that has been speculated and not kiboshed just yet.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know how I'd feel about a Witcher-themed MMO. Just for the simple fact that there are basically 3 possible character classes based around the mythos that is Witchers, Sorceresses, and Wild Hunt.
Well, that's just magically based. I mean,
Well,
you
that's
could
not
just be a
even
really good
magical
fighter.
based. Well, Witchers are basically just Spellblades. If you're a D&D fanatic like myself. Spellblades, very good class. And in a previous D&D game, I actually created a Witcher-based character. Didn't end up coming to fruition because he died before he could ever gain any sorceries.
Fancy.
Either way, he died by being consumed by a fire while on a boat.
Get good, dude.
You have to admit there's some level of impressiveness being burned to death on the open sea.
Yeah, for sure.
How many people in history have had that happen to them? I wonder. Either way. Additionally, there have been some other talks that The Witcher Part 4 is going to be rushed, and it's going to end up being a repeat of Cyberpunk 2070. But there's a lot of oversight from CD Projekt Red since that happened, so I feel like there's a lot of good that could happen. Greek Fire don't care of seawater, no. However, Greek Fire doesn't exist anymore.
No.
It hasn't existed for hundreds upon hundreds of years.
Exactly.
The recipe of it was lost at the burning of the port of whatever.
The burning of the port.
I don't remember where. I'm not a hysterectomian.
Ah, I see.
historian, whatever. I'm not one of those. Essentially, a tar alcohol, yes, that is absolutely understandable, yes, but there is more to it than that.
Well, we've got a pretty funny little short segment here, and then we're going to get on to the next topic. Are you ready?
Bring on the funny.
If it had, like, ham in it, it's closer.
No.
It's closer to a British carbonara.
Oh, no.
It is. No, that's true.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm glad you're standing there.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean?
If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. You know, what the hell? It doesn't make any sense what you said. It's a different recipe. It's got nothing to do with macaroni cheese. You know? No.
If my grandmother had wheels, she would be a bike. I fucking love that. And that dude went full on Italian on those people. I have met the wrath of an Italian man who had his cooking criticized. I literally told him, hey, this pizza tastes a little undercooked, and he literally threw a cast iron skillet at my face from about 10 feet away. I narrowly escaped a hospital visit.
Dang, dude. You done fucked up, man. So what do we got next, Mike?
What we have next is a little something extra special. Hogwarts Legacy.
Hey-o.
Before I even bring it up, I am going to touch on the controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling and make one very important point. Her involvement in the Hogwarts Legacy project can be boiled down to exactly 5 words. She wrote the original book. She is not getting her hand on the project at all. She doesn't want her hand on the project. Probably because you can make a trans character in the game. Oh, topical. Either way.
Right.
Hogwarts Legacy is going to be a true RPG based in the Harry Potter universe, where you can create a young witch, wizard, or otherwise, and have them grow up in Hogwarts. When I say true RPG, I mean open world, no multiplayer, no online play whatsoever.
We've got a first-time chat from Heather Blossom 13. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Heather. That's my girlfriend. Oh, fiancé.
Get it right.
Thanks for joining, baby. Okay. There have been previews out there. In fact, look at the little background behind my gigantic hairy head.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it here.
It's very pretty looking. I'm not going to lie. The graphics are gorgeous.
I agree.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Let's listen to some of the sound here.
Welcome to year 5 of charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work.
With a
but
beard.
I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge.
The best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two.
Dueling.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
Proper bread.
You may begin.
Dang, dude.
Not bad for a beginner.
Potions is one of the most challenging and hazardous subjects taught at this school.
Here you'll meet your professors and learn to cast spells, grow magical plants, brew potions, and more. In between classes, you'll be able to explore the castle famous for its secrets, enchantments, and mysteries. You'll discover dungeons and secret passageways, as well as challenging puzzles that will require magical skill and a clever mind to solve.
Yeah. Well,
You may
anyhow,
even find
this
yourself in iconic
video is
locations
about
you've
15
never been
minutes
able to
long, but I'll
Yes, it
post
is,
a link
but,
to
hey.
it in chat. So if you guys
Please
want to go
do.
check it out, by all means, do so.
That definitely looks like a game that I would very much be interested in playing. I, for one, am hype.
For sure.
Show of hands in the chat. Who else is hype?
Hey. Not many
I'm
hands yet. They'll pop in eventually. Or there's just no hype. They're deciding. It's like, do I want to be hyped about this? Do I not want to be hyped? The balancing act. The balancing act.
Well, I'm with White
there you
Tiger
go.
on that.
There you go.
I'm not pessimistic.
Yeah.
I'm not pessimistic whatsoever. It looks solid. It looks enjoyable. And it's Harry Potter. Bethesda and Oblivion killed my hype organ.
Yeah, I agree.
That just sounds like it could be a play on words for pipe organ.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, if we find a game company that makes Christian-based games instead of the hype train, they have the hype organ. Shut up! It was funny. Anyway,
I was nodding, but
I mean,
I don't know, man.
nodding is shorthand for crickets.
Well,
JS.
crickets is just like a deadpan stare. Like that's crickets to me.
Okay. I will agree to disagree on that. Now, White Tiger made a decent point that Harry Potter games do have a good track record. However, I do have to point out the original PS1 Harry Potter game that spawned the Hagrid meme.
Oh.
You've seen the Hagrid meme, haven't you?
I have seen the Hagrid meme, yes.
Blimey, Harry.
But that game was still fun, despite the fact that it was goofy. It was... How do I put this? It felt like it was jerking off the movie a little too hard.
Well, there you go. Sometimes a good wank, you know.
A good wank.
It's good to have
as
a wank.
opposed to a difficult wank.
Right. So I figured I would show in between here Scatman performing at the 1992 Super Bowl.
Scatman John.
Yeah.
Is this literally just going to be a guy shitting himself?
And now to honor America, especially the brave men and women serving our nation in the Persian Gulf and throughout the world, please join in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh my gosh. The wonders of auto-tune. It's beautiful right there. I would have only been 7 years old during this time, so I'm just saying Anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
The boner that I had for Starfield up to this point is now gone.
Hey, at least it wasn't a Rickroll. I'm just saying, like, we're evolving. We're evolving a little bit. You look displeased. You look actually a little bit...
Well,
it's like, really, dude? Really?
I'm gonna put this to you as plainly as I can. I know that wasn't real.
Okay.
Absolutely not. There is no way anybody would let that happen, let alone let it go to completion.
They would have stormed the field, dude. Like
that veteran on the stage that was saluting would have run up to that man and donkey punched him. Just saying.
This reminds me. This actually reminds me of of how ridiculous people are on that specific song. Steven Tyler was at the Indianapolis 500, right? And I was there. And he sang the national anthem instead of the land of the free. At the very end of the song, he said, and the home of the brave, he said, and the home of the Indianapolis 500. And he was literally banned from singing the national anthem because he instituted the home of the Indianapolis 500. Like, really, guys, come on.
That is the American South.
Yeah, like, I can't believe, didn't they have Roseanne sing the national anthem at some point, and she pissed off a bunch of people?
Fergie pissed off a lot of people.
I mean, she does that pretty often.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she more like pissed on some people, but
what?
You don't know about the Fergie pee in the pants thing?
No.
How do I know about that, but you don't know about it?
Because Fergie is a hack?
Yeah, but she also pees her pants on stage. It happens. Hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And I don't think shiwis were a thing then.
Well, there is a picture out there from a black metal concert that can't be shown on this podcast, but
okay.
There is a black metal band that was performing somewhere in, I think, Sweden, and their vocalist's pants ripped and his dick and balls fell out, and he just kept going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That sounds like a wonderful time.
Bodily and wardrobe malfunctions happen. Just look at Janet Jackson, which was absolutely not, planned.
So you had some comments about some, strongly held comments about FIFA 23. So I figured just let you...
let's not talk about that.
Why not?
Because it's fucking FIFA.
Okay. I mean, it's a popular game out there. Lots of people play it.
Well, sure, it's popular, but that doesn't mean it's worthy of anybody's time.
Fair enough.
That's like saying that Laurel and Hardy is the best comedy duo ever, when we know the answer to that one is Abbott and Costello. Laurel and Hardy created the Fat Man, Skinny Man comedy duo. Abbott and Costello perfected it. I will die on that hill.
You do it, man.
Anyway.
So what's the next one then?
Fuck FIFA. Let's talk about the Resident Evil remakes a little bit.
Okay. What about it?
I am the proud owner of the Resident Evil 2 remake on the Xbox, and it is delicious. I have played just about every Resident Evil game except for Code Veronica, which I really, 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 really want to play. But the remake of Resident Evil 2 could not have been better. And the elimination of the tank controls, in my opinion, icing on the fucking beautiful cake that it could have been.
Yeah. For sure.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, the graphics in that game were just incredible. The very, very first thing you see in that game is a greasy, gross trucker eating a nasty, disgusting burger, which just happened in the background, and it looks so realistic. I'm worried that I might get diabetes just by looking at that burger.
Diabetes?
Diabetes.
Those graphics do look good.
I'm Wilford Brimley, and I have diabetes.
What's with the, so you remember the start of Silent Hill, the very first one? Was like somebody driving, and I think that was the same premise on All of them, in fact. Even the third one, well, the first three at least, it was like somebody's driving and then they get, lost and then they're stuck within Silent Hill. And it's like,
right.
Anyway, this scene just reminds me of that.
Driving and Lost in Silent Hill just kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But as Silent Hill goes, as with the recent discussion of Abbott and Costello and Laurel and Hardy, and also the Marx Brothers that was brought up just a moment ago, by guy with the dead people in his sight and such. Either way, the Silent Hill series basically spun off of Resident Evil.
Yeah,
Resident Evil started first, Silent Hill came last. But he who comes last eats the cracker. Just saying.
Who to the Ray. Now, I have heard some pretty good things about, the remakes. I played a demo of, I want to say, which one was that? Nemesis? The remake of Nemesis?
Resident Evil 3 was not technically called Nemesis, it was just Resident Evil 3.
Oh, okay.
However, it was originally going to be released as a shorter, kind of a companion game to Resident Evil 2.
Oh, okay.
It was supposed to take place subsequently. But it was just such a passion project by everyone involved that they made it into a full-fledged game of its own, and it got great reviews. It shed a lot of light on Umbrella Corporation as a whole being as dastardly as they are. Nemesis Project being the perfection of the Tyrant Project, which would end up being more and more added to and improved upon as time went on. Can you tell I'm passionate about this?
Yeah, and that's good.
It's just so good.
It's good to be passionate.
Absolutely.
Especially
Even
if you're having sex.
Passionate about zombies. Well, that's a can of worms that I didn't have sex with before fishing.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, anything else on Resident Evil?
A little more on that, yeah. What do you think about tank controls?
I wasn't a fan of them, and I have played quite a few games that were that way. Like one that comes to mind is Metal Gear Solid 2.
Right.
I'm just saying, I guess it wasn't really tank controls, but in Metal Gear Solid, but it's just wonky designs. Like I think both of the first Silent Hills were that way, and to a certain degree, the third one was also that way.
Silent Hill was originally a third person, I do believe. I never played Silent Hill to any major amount. I played Silent Hill 2 to completion, but I was by no means a completionist about it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to find every single secret, do every single little thing. I just beat the game and had fun with it.
I mean, I've never done that either. I think that, so I've played 4 of them. And my favorite one is The Room. Now, I don't think that it was as popular as, like, say, the second or even the third one. But The Room was just an excellent game. It just had a lot of really cool aspects to it. But I have played,
up a good point.
just getting back.
Yeah.
I was just going to say is, like, I've also played a few of the Resident Evils as well. So, I mean, I played the original Resident Evil 4 all the way through. I think I've done multitudes of them. Most of the Resident Evil gaming I've done has been on console, though.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 was the only one I ever got 100% completion on. But in talking about The Room...
Yeah.
I did not hit her! It's bullshit, I did not hit her! I did not! Oh, hi, Mark.
That's an obscure reference.
No, it's not. What are you
talking
talking about obscure? They
a
made
bit
a whole
obscure.
ass movie about the movie itself.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was actually pretty underrated.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
But thoughts on the Resident Evil series? Full remake on the whole series. What do you think?
I mean, I'd be fine with it.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm behind it all the way as long as I get to taste Code Veronica before it gets remade.
I was not personally a fan of, I guess, the Resident Evil 3 remake that I played. But I did like, I mean, it's definitely improved from the original game for sure. And it's not a terrible game. It's just, have my critiques of it.
I truly feel that the lack of tank controls is what made the remakes a success. If those tank controls were still in there, they would have flopped. However, the Resident Evil 1 remake that was remade in like 2006 for the GameCube was very good, despite the terrible tank controls.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. And Tommy Wiseau did do Let's Plays. Tommy Wiseau is a national treasure if we can only figure out what nation he actually came from.
So we've got kind of a news story a little bit here.
Yeah.
It talks about the old gas prices, which is like the other thing that people are talking about when they're not talking about Elden Ring.
Yeah, very true.
So let's give this a check. Oh, I have it muted.
Elden Ring, Ukraine, and gas prices. The topic.
That means a hastily made story about it on your local. Gas prices are going up again, and you know what that means? A hastily made story about it on your local 5 o'clock news. We'll start with a still shot of the gas station sign, obviously. Then someone opening up the gas tank and putting the thing in. Next, we're going to do a shot of the price ticker as they fill up with gas. After that, we'll probably just interview someone at the gas station and ask them very leading questions to get them to make the situation sound way more extreme than it actually is, like this. I can't afford to go to the grocery store anymore. I can't afford food anymore. Usually after work on a Friday, I go down to
Oh, is it paused?
Chili's and get a cold beer, maybe a 2 for $20, but now with gas prices being the way they are, I can't even afford that. After that, we'll show some more shots of the person we just interviewed getting gas and maybe showing them looking frustrated like this or maybe like this. Not yet convinced that the world is ending tomorrow? How about another doomsday soundbite? I mean, at this point, I'm honestly thinking about maybe, taking out a second mortgage on my house or selling one of my kidneys or something. Then we'll conclude by telling you to tune back in at 10 p.m. to literally watch the exact same story again.
Talk about the state of news.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that seems absolutely true.
Oh, it's the kid I'm babysitting.
It's all right. We're going to send someone over. What happened?
They were playing hide and seek, and I've been seeking for like 3 hours. I can't keep seeking.
You're sure you checked the whole house?
Yes, but he's not normal. Connor went to magic camp.
What does that mean?
It's an illusionist camp. They escape stuff and eat coins.
Have you checked outside?
You don't understand. Last week he made me pick a
This buffering is...
card and a bird flew out of my mouth. He doesn't own a bird.
It's pretty funny.
Where did that bird come from?
Okay.
Oh, no. His parents are pulling in.
Maybe they know where he's hiding.
I'm not going to get to college. Oh, my God. Am I going to go to jail? What the fuck, Connor?
Ma'am?
You in the fucking freezer? How do you breathe in there?
Illusion! That sold it for me right there. That is funny.
Well, we are going to switch out. It is my turn to be the news dude.
Awesome.
Are you willing to step down from your throne?
I was never on the throne. I am crownless.
I mean, you don't have to have a crown in order to be on a throne, but...
I mean, no, you don't have to have a crown. Yeah, Kenzie, we are experiencing technical difficulties as well, and I don't think it's just on our end.
Yeah, I'm not... So YouTube, I'm not having any issues. I think that was just Reddit having buffer issues. Apologies on that.
I don't know if it's even just Reddit. I think that some misguided juggalo just cut off the entire world's internet in an attempt to erase a dick pic he sent to his sister by mistake.
Gee dang it. Gee dang it, I say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first one that I'm going to talk about today, or this evening, is Gran Turismo 7. We're going to have a little bit of footage in the background. This released not too long ago.
What's a Turismo?
It's a Gran.
Oh.
No, I have no idea. But anyway, so there was a lot of controversy around this. So the quality of the game is, as you would expect, it's a front-running, a racing sim on the PS5. And essentially what they decided to do is, like, previously you'd go over and you'd race some tracks, you'd be able to go over and get yourself a car, and you kind of work your way up, and you could also sell your cars. Well, GT7 is based on a direct cash for credit scheme as opposed to GT Sports microtransaction functionality, which allowed players to purchase individual cars valued up to 2 million in-game credits with real money. So instead of being able to purchase cars individually, which in GT Sports range in price between $1 and $5, players tempted to accelerate their GT7 car collections. They have the option to go over and use real money. And there are only 4 tiers, so this is like the biggest of offenders, right? There's 4 tiers, and the first tier is for 100,000 in-game credits. You got 250, and then it ranges all the way up to 2 million credits is $20. So essentially what happens is like, if you wanted to fast track your way into a 2014 Lamborghini Veneno, or like a GT Sport, you'd have to pay the US $5 and purchase the car direct from the PS Store. But, in GT7, the process is now a lot more expensive. So this is like, previously you could just throw a little bit of money at it, exact price or whatever, it balanced out. But now, to purchase, like, say, an expensive car that's like 3,640,000 credits in game, you need to hand over $40 for 4 million GT bucks, which is a lot more than if you were to just kind of like, be able to buy like more specific packages. So the full scope of this new cash for credit scheme was only revealed after the review process happened. So it is an optional shortcut, but considering credits build fairly slowly via racing, you can't sell cars from your garage. I'll say that again. You can't sell cars from your garage that you've already bought, just like in the real world. This is a simulation game, and we can't sell cars in the real world, apparently. So anyway, where was
Not
I
from
at?
your garage, but on Facebook Marketplace, sure, go ahead.
And a number of GT7's coolest cars have been made artificially scarce. So with rare cars in the legendary dealer rotating in availability before they're quote-unquote sold out and unobtainable to you in your single-player game, and others that require peculiar time-limited in-game invitations to actually purchase, it's easy to see, in my opinion, how players are pissed off about this. I mean, it's a single-player game. You shouldn't be blocking stuff to kind of incentivize me to buy your in-game currency. That's a bunch of BS, man. What do you think?
Certainly sounds like a bunch of BS.
For sure, for sure.
What's the game company behind Gran Turismo?
It is, I think Sony, right? Yeah, I think it's, let's see. Yeah, I think it's a Sony game.
Oh, well, it makes sense then.
Yeah, fair enough. But anyway, that is all I had on Gran Turismo. So what we're going to do next is give a look at... What was that?
Polyphony. Guys sees dead people. Says it's polyphony.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I remember that.
Well, polyphony rhymes with Sony, so fuck polyphony.
Yeah, we might be having technical difficulties with Reddit right now. It looks like it's just like not loading the video for some reason. So we're just gonna have to skip over this one.
Oh dear. Well.
Oh, there we go. I think it's gonna work. Let's give her a try.
See what we got.
It's so freaking loud, man. Dang you, Reddit.
My head.
Dang you, Reddit. I apologize. Yeah, it's Reddit. She's not too happy. Let's let it buffer here so we're not stopping it over and over again.
Move your mouse in little circles on the video. Bigger circles. Come on.
Bigger circles?
Keep going.
Oh my
Keep going.
gosh. Oh my.
Oh, I'm almost there.
He just can't do right. He messed up. That audio quality is quite bad. It's just awkward now.
Yes, it is.
But wait, just wait. Got him, dude. Wow. Woo. And then they walk off.
Get fucked, Karen.
What? Anyway.
Get fucked, Karen.
So
Two
have you...
things about that.
What's that?
First of all, she deserved that.
Fair enough. It seems like it was staged to me, but it was still funny
It
regardless.
feel staged, but at the same time, she kind of deserved that. Just my personal opinion. From a man's standpoint, he was being attacked. Full view of everybody. Don't know the full story behind it, so I'm not going to really speculate. But secondly, she threw away the teddy bear, she destroyed the popcorn bucket, and she spilled the pop all over his face. You think he'd learn after the teddy bear?
Yeah. I mean, she was dancing afterwards, but...
She was. I think she might have been happy that he was leaving her. Which, I mean, also, not to be a pig here, but totally going to be a pig here. Upgrade. Just saying.
For sure. So, have you ever heard of the game company Tencent?
The price of EA's stock in about 3 years?
Yeah, that might be the case, but Tencent, believe it or not, they own League of Legends, PUBG, Honor of Kings, Arcade, and Ring of Elysium. Those last two being a little bit less known. But
same with Honor of Kings. I mean, when you after PUBG, those three games just sound like shovelware automatically.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. Last year, in 2021, they made a revenue of 560 billion yuan, Chinese yuan, which equates out to $87,789 million. And they actually had an increase in 2021 of 16% from 2020. So just to give you an idea, like you throw out this big number and everybody's like, yeah, whatever. What's the deal here? Why is this, significant? So I just decided to look and see what revenues were for some other game companies that we most likely know. So like, for example, Microsoft Gaming, the Microsoft division of gaming, all of the various franchises that they've bought, including Bethesda, including, they just got Blizzard Activision, all of those together per year makes about 8 billion. Just a singular 8 billion. Riot Games pulls in 1.5 billion. Fortnite by itself in 2 years made $9 billion. So the disparity between, the current, more well-known, studios is insane. Like, literally, I would not be surprised if they were bigger than every single other game company combined. Like this is how much money they are making off of these microtransactions on PUBG, microtransactions on Honor of Kings. I don't think there's as much on League of Legends, but
well, if I might speculate, part of that could be because of Arcane.
Arcane.
The Netflix series.
Okay.
There's a Netflix series released late last year.
Oh, okay.
Based around League of Legends. I watched the whole series, and it was fucking phenomenal. I hate League of Legends. I really, really do. But that show, Arcane, chef kiss. Couldn't have been a better steampunk-themed show that I could have ever seen in my life. It was just great. It was wonderful, and I'm really looking forward to season 2.
Sure. For sure.
And they had to have made a profit off of it because of how wildly popular it was at its time. Although the lack of merchandise, Arcane-themed stuff is not lost on me.
Right.
But that had to play at least a part in it.
Right.
Because Netflix buys these shows outright to give profit to the companies that make them before they're even released.
Yeah.
So that could have been a big part. And, besides I don't think $87 billion worth of microtransactions would have happened just from one. Really? It's basically all microtransactions?
PUBG is mobile, right?
Well, yeah.
So, literally
I
everybody and their
PUBG
mom.
mobile for a while.
So I'm just saying there are skins, and primarily they are making the money off of microtransactions. Because most of their games, like PUBG, isn't pulling in just from people buying the base game. They're not pulling in $80-some billion. It's got to be some other things. Yeah, the whales too. So a lot of those games are. The whole point is trying to find the whales and then keeping them continuously buying or whatever. But I thought that was pretty interesting. We're getting into a different generation of gaming where, you don't even have to have necessarily a good, well-polished, extremely amazing game. You just have to have a popular one. And you make all the money.
Absolutely. Speaking of whales and microtransactions and making a lot of money on the player base, that leads us to today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Same idea. A lot of microtransactions in that game, and it's gacha based, so it's going to be based primarily on microtransactions. So I do kind of see the point there.
Yeah.
I'm with you there, White Tiger. I can't play a lot of games anymore because of gambling. I just found a fun new game. It's not even a big one. It's called Punball on Google Play. It's a little brick breaker game with an adorable little cutesy skin on it, and I've spent $20 on it.
Yay. Well, next we're going to talk about Amazon games.
Hey, speaking of money.
Yeah, they have spent a lot of money, but I learned some stuff because, I did not realize this until I was kind of looking more into this. I have played most of the canceled games. Of course, nobody, I don't think, played the Lord of the Rings MMO, but I was going to go through this. This studio has actually been making quote-unquote games since 2011. And, it's not really high-tech. This is all on the Amazon App Store, is where they were originally making the games. And then from there, they kind of did a little Facebook game called Living Classics, which I believe was in 2012. And moving into more, modern times, they created a Gran Tour game 2019 for PS4 and Xbox One. And then, of course, they had New World and Lost Ark. But primarily, there was a bunch of these big hyped games that they were supposed to make, or that they said they were going to make, like Crucible. They actually had a beta run, I think, of Crucible. I played that beta. and they ended up just shutting it down because it just had some major team dynamic problems, and it, eventually got to the point where people found that out and they just quit on it, and then it was hard to get a match. But another one is they said they were going to do a Lord of the Rings MMO. That never happened or came to fruition.
Well, there's already a Lord of the Rings MMO out there. It's called Lord of the Rings Online, and it's actually kind of awesome.
It's okay. I think
I enjoyed it.
A modern one would be better with an actual action combat instead of the old school style. But
well, sure, but I still enjoy it from time to time. I'll hop on Steam, wild hair up my ass, and decide to play as a hobbit.
Right. But that brings me over to New World. So New World's kind of it didn't do very well. And in fact, I pulled up today I would consider New World to be a failure, but at least it shows that Amazon Studios is learning. They're making progress. I think that, over time they're going to make some pretty good games. And I think that, New World shows some promise for the long term. But let's, just looking at it here, their peak players for New World in October of 21 was, 913,000 with an average of 410,000 for that month, people playing. And literally the very next month, they had a 60% drop in player counts, and then it just has slowly gone down. But in the last 30 days, we have a gain of 2%. And on average, we're seeing about 21,000 and maybe a peak of 37,000 players. That's not a lot for an MMO. I'm just saying, there are just a host of issues with this game. And, I did play a decent amount. I decided not to go to max level. The game literally just got to the point where you're just running simulator. You just run for a long ass time, go kill some mobs, and then, go turn the quests in. And then there's also a whole aspect of it is just crafting, which I think the crafting was okay. But there was a major issue with the economy where, some of the older materials were actually more valuable than the later materials. So it just kind of upended the economy where you could buy higher end materials for much cheaper because, the bots essentially just upended the economy. And the other last thing that I'll say that was just a major problem with the economy specifically is each zone, which you're seeing there, all of the zones, they can be taken over by an actual crew or a guild, or I guess in that game they're called companies. But you have these fort battles, and you can take over the area, and then you get the chance to buy property in the in there if you're a part of that same faction, or you also are able to set taxes. So it's really a big game when it comes to PvP. So the problem is in PvP they didn't very likely test this before release, because essentially what was happening is people were able to spam a bunch of spells, certain spells, and lag the server out so that essentially the defenders would always win. And it just essentially broke the core system of the game. And to make matters worse, the economy is set up in such a way so that you essentially can't. Every town has its own economy. It's not a shared economy between multiple towns. So that just majorly causes problems when, you essentially, like I said, it's just running simulator, and there's a teleport system, which is okay, but it's just it is a running simulator, and they didn't have any end game. You were literally just grinding mobs in a group in one area to try to get a random RNG drop so that you could RNG try to upgrade your equipment. Like it, yeah. Like I said, I'm not totally 110% hating on it. I did play it, and there are aspects that I did enjoy about the game. But the thing that, you know, I would just want to note is that it's just not there, you know, and I think they will eventually get it there. It's just not very good. It's not something I want to spend a bunch of time on, and I think, you know, the players have spoken based on those player counts.
Yeah. I didn't even get New World. I just didn't even bother trying with it. When a game like that is released, I tend to give it a little time to stew before I even give it an attempt, and for good reason. Notice. But well, actually, there was a unionization white tiger of some Amazon employees, I believe in New York. The first unionization of employees at Amazon. I feel like it was just Jeff Bezos trying to extend an olive branch that's covered in poison. Yeah, they're battling it, but I mean, if it wasn't meant to happen, Bezos wouldn't let it happen. Because Bezos is an alien hive mind that will take control of the universe one day.
He's loafing. Baron says no. He says, I am a loaf, and I will continue being a loaf.
Cats.
Well, I've got a palate cleanser here.
Please do share the sorbet with me. The delicious, delicious sorbet.
Let's give her a look. I'll try not to blast your ears this time. Sorry.
I appreciate it. This already would not fly nowadays. You can tell this is older.
A little time to think things over. Better read between the lines.
Oh.
In case I need it when I'm older.
He's into it. He's into it. Well, I can't even tell what's happening. Essentially,
I'll risk the copyright on the music because it adds to it. What?
I don't know if I can face it again.
Bang.
Can't stop now. I've traveled so far.
Oh.
Fucking got him, dude.
Okay.
I want you to show me.
Wow. Just wow.
I know you can show
Fucking got him, dude. Fucking got him.
That's hilarious. But again, would not fly nowadays at all.
Yeah, they just get punched in the face.
Stare at somebody like that, they'll scream rape immediately.
How dare you?
How dare you place your eyeballs upon me?
I concur. I concur. Oh, shoot. Well, the next thing that I want to talk about is Ashes of Creation. And have you heard anything about this, Mike?
Very little. Last I knew about it, I was still working at TLCA, so over a year ago.
Okay. Well, this video I got going on in the background apparently was taken in a widescreen, but that's fine. Let's get right into it, because this game, I think, is going to be pretty darn sweet when it finally does come out. So it's an MMO. It is set in a fictional world called Vera, and you'll be able to experience massive PvP warfare. You can participate in epic trade caravans and gather very valuable components to, craft exquisite items. There will be a PvP focus for the game, but there will be a lot of PvE content, as you can see as well. This is going to be in the new Unreal Engine. I was just looking at the dev blog here. So it's going to be graphically pretty neat, I think, when it's all said and done. So it's a unique take on the MMO. The world structure is dynamic, and it's built to react to your actions. So cities will rise and fall as you shape the world of Vera. Quests and secrets will unlock as populations gather and their needs grow. As the world's NPC structure is established in real time, you'll have the ability to destroy what's been created, paving the way for new developments, populations, and change. Political strife and intrigue will be a very real role in the structure of the experience. So I think that's really neat that, they're doing essentially the same thing that New World did. But
New World wanted to do.
What they wanted to do, and that's my biggest concern, is I'm saying New World definitely failed the economy, and I think that's where this game needs to figure that piece out. I mean, it seems to me that the gameplay is looking decent. I think that they're going to be able to nail that portion. Hopefully the dungeons don't suck, but it seems like the basic mechanics are already there and in place. They're, kind of working on some world building, and I have not seen a lot of dungeon style stuff. I've just seen them kind of fighting world bosses and stuff. So,
Sure, but I mean, a good RPG with bad dungeons is just a bad RPG.
Fair enough, but it's still not released yet, so.
Of course, but I mean, like I said, I heard about this a year ago, and back then I was under the impression that it was going to be like a combination MMO and RTS.
Okay.
But I mean, again, scant anything about it. And I know I spoke to you a little bit about this before we started the cast tonight, but I really feel like this is going to be another another Chronicles of Narnia situation where they hype it up so much, they show so much about it, and then it just dies before it even starts.
Yeah. This one here is a little bit earlier of a beta, but just one comment is just that I have been, watching this somewhat.
Asmongold, gross.
I have been watching this somewhat extensively, and like on channels Force Gaming and Lazy Peon, and they have some really good, information on the game. Lazy Peon goes into extreme detail in his video, and I really recommend you checking that out.
I like the Lazy Peon, so I certainly will.
But I think that I was not able to find a definitive release date. My guess, just on the information that I've seen on the game, looks like it's going to be somewhere 2023 late, maybe in 2024 is my guess, based on the development cycle.
I certainly hope it gets released at about that time, because, I mean, the want for it is going to die quickly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had there for a while, the MMO industry was really thirsty, and that's where I think that Amazon they had the right idea. They were trying to capitalize on this kind of thirsty, MMO community. It's just that game sucked. But
well, I mean, the MMO community was thirsty, and Amazon came in with a big cup of vinegar.
There you go. But since we're talking about that,
vinegar?
No, about Amazon. Since we're talking about Amazon, we have to now talk about Lost Ark. And
okay.
Have you had any chance to check that out at all, or?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
I mean, it's free.
Well, that doesn't mean I'm gonna play it.
Well, I mean, that essentially makes you a sausage.
Well, punching myself in the balls is free. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
I mean, you should.
I'll wait until after the stream.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Lost Ark is a game also made by a third-party studio, but it's backed by Amazon Studios, and I think Amazon had some part in it. You know, my wife has been playing it quite a bit, and she's way up there on the old gear score. You know, has put in a lot of time. I put in around 60 hours into the game, and that's about all I really wanted to play of it. But it has done really, really well in comparison. It's a port from, I believe, Korea, and I think it was also released in like China and Russia as well. You know, it released a few years ago in those countries, but then this is a port to the US. And looking at the, you know, player numbers, we had a peak when it released of, you know, over 800 and some thousand on the average daily peak, but we had, you know, 1,320,000 people playing for the peak, probably, you know, right when it released in February. And it's maintained. There's still about 364,000 people, you know, in April stats of people playing that, which I think is pretty decent for that size of MMO, if you ask me. I think they're doing all right for themselves.
Fairly all right. But you just kind of reminded me of something. There was an older MMO called Maplestory, if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I played Maplestory.
I did too. It was a lot of fun, but it originated in Korea, migrated to China, and then migrated to Russia. And then it became a U.S. staple at one point. It even had a commercial where people were slapping each other in the face with fish.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
was a fun commercial too.
That doesn't sound fun. That just sounds painful.
Well, yes, but that was the whole point. It's like, what are you guys doing? Slapping each other in the face with fish? Why? Because it's free and we can. You should try Maplestory. Oh, okay.
Well, there you go. I think that's a perfect spot for a little bit of segue. Have you heard about Sony's quote-unquote Game Pass attempt?
Kinda.
Kind of. Well, essentially all their quote-unquote Game Pass is going to be is a tiered system that is just piggybacking off of PlayStation Plus.
Ooh.
And essentially all they're doing is, so they have 3 tiers that are $9.99 a month for the Essential, and that's going to get you 2 games a month, and I think that's it. So that's staying the same. And then there's an additional tier, which is $17.99 a month, you know, or $120 a year, in which you get around 700 games, and some of them are PS5 games. It's all only exclusives that you are getting. Like, they're not just throwing out any old game in, like they are in some cases in the Game Pass. You know, I'm kind of meh on it. You know, I don't do a lot of console gaming. I have in the past used PlayStation Plus, and I think it's a good service in general. If you play console, because you get 2 free games a month, and, you know, it keeps going. I mean, you can start building up a decent library of games to play pretty much at all times. But
okay, so you get these games and then they stay in your library?
For 2 of them a month, yes. And then the others are just streamable. Like, I'm presuming it through essentially a port to the PlayStation Now, which is already a thing that they have. But just giving you an idea of numbers here, you know, Game Pass has around 25 million subscribers. And, you know, they're adding titles, you know, on launch day. I don't think that Sony is doing any launch day titles in this service, so that's kind of another downside. But they have been throwing in, you know, like, there's a lot of battle going back and forth between Sony and Microsoft specifically, You know, one thing to talk about is like, not that long ago, there was a $68.7 billion deal for Call of Duty, you know, for, you know, Activision Blizzard, you know, and when it comes to Sony, they've also answered back by buying Bungie. And I would say right now, Microsoft has an early lead, but Sony's coming up. They're going to figure something out. I'm not like necessarily a Sony fan, but we're just reporting on gaming and what's going on. But
well, at this point, Sony versus Microsoft is a lot like Samsung versus Apple. And
how do you figure?
Well, it's obvious who the protagonist and the antagonist are in the situation.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, Microsoft/Samsung are putting out good products. And then Sony/Apple is putting out a similar but inferior product and saying that they are innovators. And they are years and years behind the fucking curve here.
Yeah.
Like, the iPad was released, and every Apple fanboy collectively shit their pants at the same time when it was announced. When Microsoft slash Samsung both had put out a Surface Pad that was similar in functionality to an Apple product or an iPad at a very much lower price point for the time, about 20 years earlier.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say myself, my actual, like, I work as an engineer, but I'm actually a technologist. So from my perspective, I despise Apple. Like, I absolutely despise them. And it has nothing to do with any personality. It's literally, they are taking widely available technology and making it proprietary so that they can charge a premium on it. It's not a better piece of equipment. It's not better technology. It's literally shit that we can get anywhere fucking else, and we can put it in a platform or a design that, you know, allows for a certain amount of freedom. But no, Apple, they just want to get their money and fuck everybody else. Like, they literally do not care about innovation. If they did, then they wouldn't do the practices that they do, period.
Absolutely. And they're taking pieces of technology that are pre-existing, slapping a sticker of a piece of fruit on it, and then selling it to the biggest idiots on the market.
And it's all under the guise of, oh, it's easy to use. It's like, yeah, I mean, that may be, but you can also make Android easy to use. There's third-party, UIs that you can get on your phone that turn it into essentially the same fucking thing as what an Apple does. It's just people may not have, like, the savviness to go over and do that, but I'm just saying it's not wise, in my opinion, if you care about technology and you care about innovation, it's not wise to support Apple. They don't deserve the support that they get. I don't think that they have, like, a product that is worthy of, like, the awe that people bring out on it. It's just literally them, give me money. That's all they're about. It's just give me money and screw everybody else.
Absolutely. And I just want to point out also, Apple produced and fully funded 2 movies about Steve Jobs.
Yeah. And I didn't even dislike those movies, though. I mean, one of them was kind of but I'm just saying, the story is okay. I don't dislike the story. I'm not like, I don't get, like, filled with rage if I see somebody who is the likeness of Steve Jobs or anything. It's just...
No, me neither. I mean, Steve Jobs was just a businessman.
Yeah.
But I did notice, and I'm sure just about everybody else, even the Apple fanboys did, but they ignored this. They glanced entirely over all the controversy surrounding Steve Jobs, fucking screwing Steve Wozniak over.
Yeah.
And they painted him to be the bad guy, much like they did with the Winklevoss twins in the Facebook movie.
That's just unfortunate, man.
It's not unfortunate, it's Target.
I get it.
They're painting Steve Jobs to be a fucking hero, and they're funding it themselves. So it just harkens back to the whole Scientology argument. It's all, hey, look how great we are because of this man.
Yeah. Well, that was
That's
worth
also about Christianity too. Just saying.
Well, that was a neat segue. I'm glad we got a chance to say F Apple. But
oh, absolutely.
The next one we're going to talk about, and this is going to be, I think, the last one for the evening, is Call of Duty is not releasing a Call of Duty game in 2023. Oh my gosh. Woe is me. What are we ever going to do?
100% of men named Kyle just shit themselves. And punched holes in the drywall.
So I've read up on a little bit of this. So they're delaying a Call of Duty title that had been scheduled to release in 2023. Activision is pushing the game, with Schreier, their contact, says is being developed by Call of Duty Black Ops maker Treyarch. After last year's annual release, Call of Duty Vanguard didn't meet expectations. That led executives to suspect it had been cannibalized by previous year's game, Schreier reports. A recent SEC filing said that Vanguard failed to meet Activision's fourth quarter projections. Activision announced initial details about the Modern Warfare sequel and a new Warzone experience, which they were saying was Warzone 2, essentially, earlier in February, and both are scheduled to come out this year. While Activision said they will be designed together from the ground up, it's unclear if the new Warzone is a full sequel or a big update to the existing game. Both will be powered by a new engine, apparently. Activision, just since we're talking about them, has been under significant scrutiny due to California's lawsuit alleging it fostered a culture of constant sexual harassment and labor protests from staffers, including some who work on Call of Duty. Microsoft announced early in January it struck a deal to acquire the company for $68 billion. Though the deal isn't expected to close until sometime in Microsoft's fiscal year 2023, which begins in July. So, no Call of Duty 2023. The world's going to end. Gamers are going to revolt.
If there is a revolt about it, it will be the saddest revolt ever. It will be the most cringeworthy thing. We want Call of Duty. We want Call of Duty. Cool. Go ahead and download the newest game that has another version of zombies and a new map in it. Cool. I mean, I want to round off what I say by saying fuck Activision, fuck Treyarch, fuck Call of Duty, and fuck anybody named Kyle.
There you go.
And anybody that looks like Kyle, by the way.
There you go. Well, I wanted to do something new this episode here. So I have a topic here, and, obviously we have our chat watching this live, but, feel free to throw something in there. I don't know if there'd be a ton of time, but if you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to put down in the comments, Battle Royale. What's next? What's next? It's getting stale, guys. It's getting stale. What is the next thing that's going to hit the FPS Battle Royale, or I guess competitive esports style market? Let me know in the comments. So.
He's a little boy. He doesn't count.
What? Are you talking to a kitty?
No, my girlfriend pointed out that her nephew's name is Kyle.
Oh.
But he's like 8. It doesn't count for him. He has not become the quintessential Call of Duty player yet.
Well, we've got one more video. Let's give it a look.
See what we got. For that neck beard.
Uh-oh. It's like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
He's just like, nope. Good old candid camera. Yay.
Candid camera pranks like that are always funny.
For sure. So, Mike, do you have any advice?
Wash your balls.
Absolutely. Any special, like, ball washing technique that you'd like to push?
Well, not washing per se, but scratching.
Scratching?
For all you females watching. I know there's a few of you in the chat now. When a man's scratching his balls, he doesn't do this. He doesn't scratch like you would think he does. When a man scratches his balls, what he does is he takes a piece of skin, like so, and rolls it. That's how one scratches their balls.
Thanks for sharing that. That was insightful.
That's a man's secret right there.
That was insightful.
Yeah, but it is a man's secret, and they need to know this sort of thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because I'll tell you what, first time I ever have anybody take their nails and drag them along my balls because they itch, I'm going to be like, hey, none of that shit.
What?
I
we
got
have
this.
we have to elaborate a little bit here. So, like, what situation would you be in where you're not able to scratch your own balls and you then are concerned that somebody is going to rake their nails across your ball sack?
Well, for instance, we just talked badly about Scientology and Apple.
Okay.
And you know how sycophantic many of them can be.
And if
I
my
may very well get my arms torn off by a couple of raging, angry Scientologists.
I mean, if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. So, well, you literally just look mad, dude. Like,
I'm not. I'm deep in thought here. I'm trying to think of an everyday situation where I can use that because I really, 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 really want to.
Yes.
If my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. I want to use that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that is our show for this evening. If this is content that you like, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, or follow if you're watching us on Twitch. And as always, thanks for watching. Awesome. Thanks, chat. We're very lively tonight. It was a fun stream, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Experience. Absolutely. But before we go, Jason, we're forgetting one thing.
What's that?
Chat, YouTube, anyone out there watching this, always remember, you've got someone you can lean on. If you ever feel like the world is just on your shoulders and you're having a terrible go of it, always reach out to somebody who cares. And trust me, there is somebody who cares out there.
Baron cares. Baron cares a lot. Do it for Baron.
He's a cat. Cats don't care, just by default.
That's probably true. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you all very much. Have a good one now.